Joined now by our brother Ephraim Salaam, former NFL offensive lineman, Fox Sports Radio Weekends. Ephraim Salaam on Twitter. Ephraim is the perfect person to answer the question.
Happening, brothers? How y'all doing?
What's up, man?
I don't know if you were listening, man. Had a chance to hear what we're talking about.
He never listens to our show.
Yeah, well, he listens every now and again.
Is that what we're going to do?
No, I'm just kidding.
Every now and again. Yo, E, man, we're talking about, would you rather get there? We're talking using the Yankees as an example. Would you rather get to the big game, you were there, and lose, but say at least, hey, we got there, even though it hurts, but we got there? Or would you rather never get there?
And we also got to say, like Buffalo is one of the Buffalo Bills. They went 4 times.
Oof, painful.
You know, LeBron lost 6 championships. Like, at some point, would you just be like, I'd rather not? And one time is not fair because I think everybody wants to get there and have a chance at winning. But I'm talking about multiple losses, like a situation like that.
Yeah, like multiple losses would be a bit excessive. But like my rookie year, we went to the Super Bowl, and I'll never trade that in for anything. That was one of the greatest experiences of my life, to be on the cusp of my career and get a chance to experience. We had Adam Schreiber. He was our backup center on our team, and he wept. And I was looking at him after we beat Minnesota in the NFC Championship game, and he was sobbing.
And you couldn't figure it out. Like, what is wrong with you, right?
I said, Adam, I mean, it was beyond tears of joy, right? Like, so I'm like, oh, man, what's going on? And he said, Ephraim, I've been in the league 15 years. I know this is my last year in the league.
Wow.
And to be able to go and play in the Super Bowl after all this time, I can't even control myself.
Right.
So getting there to the Super Bowl, which is extremely difficult, we get skewed by the Tom Brady's and the Belichick's and the New England's of it all. You get skewed a little bit by the Buffalo bit, but it's a grind, and it is tough to get there. And just being able to have a chance to win, every single player in the world would sign up for that.
No doubt.
Like, we don't, before the outcomes, like, you don't know what the outcome is, but to be able to have a chance to get into the biggest game on earth for us, oh, you can't pass that up. I would have rather went 5-6 times.
Well, the Buffalo one, I know people up there, that's got to hurt. I mean, to get there.
4 in a row. 4 in a row. If it was 4 over 8 years.
It ain't even 4 over 10 years.
They space it out. It was just L.
Oh, my God.
L.
Okay. The Indianapolis Colts, I don't know what's going on. I mean, Joe Flacco, really, like, where are you going with Joe Flacco? Anthony Richardson is your future, Ephraim.
Okay, well, I can
can
tell
he
you
not
this.
play? Are you saying he can't play?
I can tell you this. When you make a decision like this, you've just made the decision on Anthony Richardson's future, right? Like,
they're saying he can't play. It must be, right? It doesn't make sense.
Well, coming off his body, like, he showed signs last year, then he got hurt, and then all that went away.
Right.
Then he came in and he had a little bit of buzz, a little bit of spark. But for the most part, he can't get the quarterbacking down. You can't at any time as a quarterback at this level be 2 for 15 at any point in any game. It can't happen.
That's bad.
Like, I'm serious. It cannot happen. And so the fact that he hasn't progressed, and injury has a lot to do with it. It happens. He hasn't progressed like they want. They've seen all they feel they need to have seen, on top of the fact that in the history of the game, he might be the only starting quarterback in the National Football League that has taken himself out of a play because he was tired.
Yeah.
Those two things combined, you know there is no room forward because he's lost the trust of the guys in the locker room. Guess what? You asked me where the Colts are going now? To the playoffs with Joe Flacco. How about that?
Okay. Joe Flacco, long term, is not going to do anything for you.
That's not the answer.
That's what
He's not the answer.
That's all I'm saying. Like, you're still going to be and looking for a quarterback, and that's my point. And if you're saying Anthony Richardson will never be quarterback for the Colts again, then fine. But don't put him back in. Do not.
I don't think he's going back in.
Okay, but you get my point, though, right? He shouldn't go back in.
Yeah, I do. I believe they've made a decision.
Okay,
on
that's
his future
fair.
there.
That's fair if he never plays for them again. But don't be like.
Look what San Francisco did. San Francisco gave up draft capital, moved up to get a Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And they realized, oh, we messed up. Oh, this is not it. And they pivoted to a 7th-round draft pick, and they haven't looked back since. Right? So they made.
Yeah, but there's a little different. I get it, Ephraim. When you got an old quarterback, and I know he played well for the Browns when they got in that playoff game. They did lose. He had 2 or 3 picks. He wasn't great in that, but he played well.
So he could
no, I know that. I said that he played well last year. I'm not going to poo-poo what he did. He didn't play well in the playoff game. But anyway, when you're starting to do that, you're taking a step backwards, and you're still going to have to find you a quarterback going forward.
Yeah,
Ephraim, I believe they understand that, and I believe this is them willing to look. This is a new day and age, man. Remember Josh Rosen? Remember he was a first-round draft pick?
Yeah.
Right? Like, they moved off him the next year. They were like, we're going to go somewhere else and get another first-round draft pick. Right? Like, so teams aren't beholden to these first-round draft picks at quarterback like they used to be because they're already slotted in to make a certain amount of money. They'll swallow that. They'll eat that before, when they was getting $55 million of the signing bonus, all of that. They were like, we can't do that anymore. So teams feel okay if they make a mistake to not die on the cross, proverbially, so to speak, and move on and try to address it the next year.
He's Ephraim Salaam. He is, of course, former NFL offensive lineman, Fox Sports Radio Weekends. Ephraim Salaam on Twitter. Joining us now, the odd couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington. I go to somebody who's just been fun to watch, man. Sometimes we get caught up, especially what we do for a living, Ephraim. We got like, who's not playing well? Who's not doing this? Who's not doing that? Jayden Daniels has been fun to watch. A team that people had, decent expectations, but you didn't expect a rookie to come out and do what he's doing. And now they're winning games with Hail Marys. They're blowing people out at times. What do you like about him, and what do you make of this Commander team this season thus far, sitting at 6-2?
First of all, I love him. I loved him in college. And I'll tell you something. On my show that I have every Sunday.
I never miss your show on Sunday.
8 to 11 Eastern, 5 to 8 Pacific. Me and the great Mark Willard. When we do our preseason predictions and polls and all of that, I picked the Washington Commanders to win that division.
And you're still sticking with that?
And I'm sticking with it because what I do know is when you get new ownership, you get new coaches, you get new blood in a building that has been dormant for however long, and then you couple that with a generational talent and Jayden Daniels, like that's how you make change. That's how it happens. We just watched it happen a year ago with Houston. We just watched it happen. They brought D'Amico in, they won the draft, and look at them now, right? Like, so I felt that same energy coming out of Washington with the Commanders, and so I picked them to win that division.
All right.
Well, yeah, he looks good, and they look good right now. And they're a sleeper, man, if they get to the postseason. One of those teams you don't want to play. Ephraim, we appreciate you as always, man. Make sure you guys check out his show on Sundays on Fox Sports Radio as well. Ephraim, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, brothers.